So in today's road rant, we're going to talk about blockers at work. All right, now when I was growing up, we used to call these guys that would get in the way of you trying to meet a girl a cock block. Now I never thought, or I never understood, that these people would also be at work. Now they could be male or female, but they're blockers. Maybe not cock blockers, but they're trying to block progress. There's 4 main types of blockers that you're going to deal with. The first one, and probably the easiest one to recognize, is the negative blocker. These people are the ones that say, nah, that can't work, or no, we tried that so many times years ago and this is what happened, so let's not do that. Yeah, that's the exact voice that they use. To deal with the negative blocker, your best bet is to try to get them on board. You're gonna have to talk to them one-on-one. You're gonna, get them to buy into what you're trying to change or what you're trying to implement. And if it goes good, if that change actually happens and it's a good thing, you want to make sure that you give a lot of credit to this guy or girl. The next blocker is the silent blocker. Now, at meetings and stuff, you're not going to hear from this person. They won't say boo. When you hear from them is when it doesn't work. The first thing they're going to say is, I knew that wasn't going to work. So as a leader, to get the silent blocker on board, you need to kind of build a relationship with this person. You want to try to get them to talk, get them to express themselves, and then you want them to sharing their ideas. Now, it's not going to be a short, quick process. It might take some time. But eventually, as they start sharing ideas, the ones that make sense, try to implement. Then you're getting them on your side. The next one, and this is the guy I hate the most, is the agreeable blocker. This is the person that's all on board. They're gung-ho. They're ready to help. Oh yeah, boss, this is gonna work, yeah. But their words are very different from what their actions will be. So they're going to be very enthusiastic and ready to get things on board, but their actions are going to show that they're doing whatever they can to ruin what's going on. Now, usually there's one reason this is going to happen. It's because they're not going to get the credits, or somebody else, maybe they're not worried about you getting the credit as somebody who's implementing the change, but somebody other than themselves, a teammate, a different department might get the credit. That's what they're against. So they're going to look good in front of management or an upper management, but behind the scenes they're doing whatever they can to kill it so that everybody's looking the same. And lastly, you've got the firefighter blocker. The reason this person is called the firefighter blocker is that's what they do. They fight fires. They're always running by the seat of their pants. They're putting out fires wherever they can. Any troubles, they are the ones that handle the business. But you see, if you try to implement change, they may not have those types of emergencies. You see, when they fix these, or when they put out these fires, they get upper management and teammates saying, hey, good job. Good thing you were here. You know everything. You're the one that fixed it. That's how they display their value. If you come and try to implement change and they can't do that anymore, well, how are they going to prove themselves? So what we have to work on is getting the company leaders not to praise as highly the people that are putting the fires out, but put that praise early when you find a way so that there are no fires. If you eliminate a problem in a meeting and then you implement, your leadership team needs to acknowledge the idea way more positively than the actual, putting out of the fires. That's how you're going to get this person on your team. Now, blockers come from both sides of the fence. You see, you're going to have employees that are blockers. And the reason that they're doing that typically is they're going to fall into one of the 4 blocker categories. But also think about, I'm used to doing a job this way. I can come in, I can zone out, be a zombie, and business stays the same. I know what I'm doing day in and day out. If you're trying to bring in change, they're going to have to think about it. They're going to have to work on it. It may involve them doing more work. It may involve them having to put more thought behind their actions. So you'll get a lot of pushback. You see, usually it comes from senior employees because they've been set into a routine and you're going to disrupt it. So you need to try to figure out what kind of blocker they are, and then you got to work to get them on your team. You can't just come in and say, this is what we're doing. You need to get them on your team, explain what it is you're trying to do, what the positive outcome will be, and then you start to implement. But see, your bigger challenge is your coworkers. your management team that's beside you. Managing parallel is a lot harder than managing down. So you may have other managers that are one of the blockers. It may even be a manager above you, because remember, when you bring in change, things are going to change. And a lot of people don't like that. They like to know what their day is going to be. Even if their day is harder than what your change will bring, they would rather do it because that's what they know. So leading change is not easy. And it's up to, in my opinion, upper management to get behind you and back you, because ultimately upper management, they can coddle their top employees, they can coddle their top managers, but that's not going to help the company. Sometimes you have to come in with an iron fist and you just have to say, this is what we're doing. But as a new manager, that's not your role. So you got to get buy-in from above you, you've got to get buy-in beside you, and then you've got to try to get buy-in below you. Change management is not easy, and I'm not saying that it is, but if you recognize what type of blocker you're dealing with and you learn how to explain it, you learn how to involve the people that may get in your way, you have a much better shot at being successful. All right, that's it. Please give a like, thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. I am now changing my posting schedule. It will be every Tuesday. So every Tuesday, guaranteed most of the time, that's when we're getting videos. Subscribe, like, and I will see you next Tuesday. Ciao.